seat, a seat position. So that could actually be in a chair. It could actually be in Sukhasana, easy cross legs. Whatever serves you, beautiful sisters, beautiful yogis. So I'm just going to spend some time just to clear the space here. So as you're sitting and grounding, just slowly start to connect with your breath. So it's just the rise and fall of your breath, the beautiful inhalations and the exhalations. And let's just allow the breath to be your guide. So I'm just offering you some beautiful Palo Santo, just to connect from a higher perspective. Using this not only to cleanse the space, but also to invite the energy into the meditation. So even though we're not physically present, we are connected via this beautiful, cooler and safe container of the breath. So as you're sitting with your breath, and perhaps if you're even sitting on a chair, you might like to just ground your feet, so your feet are earth to the floor, and just gently place the palms facing down, so you're actually really nice and grounded and soft with the palms. So for those of you who are just joining me a little later in the transmission, I've just welcomed beautiful students, and I'm now just guiding you through a beautiful grounding meditation. So as you're sitting with the breath, palms facing down, I'd just like you to listen to the rise and fall. So the inhalation is through the nose, and the exhalation is just out in the mouth. So just the normal rhythm of the breath. So I don't want you to control the breath, don't want you to labour the breath, I just want you to become the space between the breath. I can see that Danny B's just joined us. Danny, I've just welcomed you actually. I ran through a number of the students who've recently joined the community, so welcome, thanks for tuning in. And as you're sitting with this beautiful breath, now we're just going to change the rhythm just ever so slightly. So changing the rhythm, just to now breathe in through the nose. And as you're breathing in through the nose, what I'd like you to do is just implore the beautiful belly. So allow the belly to fill the space in between the abundance that sits in the front of your body. And as you're breathing in, the belly's full, and you're rising the breath up to rest into the heart space. Next breath, rise the breath up to sit at Vishuddha into the throat, and a slight pause at the top of your breath. And when we pause at the top of the breath, this also gives us the ability to create space. So we then can allow the exhale back through to the heart, back down to the root. And as we come back to the root, we exhale and the belly comes back towards the spine. And then we create this beautiful new rotation, this beautiful new spaciousness in the body. So it also feels safe within your practice. Just slowly close the eyes down and soften through the jaw. Just making sure that if you are in a seated position, if the feet are earth to the floor, or if you are in Sukhasana cross legs, is just make sure that the heart is lifted, the shoulders are away from the ears, and you're feeling this connection to softness. And just continue with the rise and fall of your breath. So the breath allows the space in through the belly, resting up through to Anahata, into the heart space chakra, resting up into Vishuddha, into the throat. Slight pause at the top of the breath, and the exhale is the release. Back through the nose, back to the heart, back to the base. And just continue with this beautiful rotation of the breath, a version or a variation of the Royal Maharaja Pranayama. So we know that the pranayama technique is actually about regulating the breath, and we regulate the breath to create this sense of peace and calm, this sense of balance in the body. So just closing the eyes, softening, still offering you beautiful Palo Santo. And as you're just rising and falling with the ebb and flow of the breath, the hands are connected to the knees or palms facing down on the tops of the knees if you're seated in a chair. And now I'd just like you to just gently just connect Connect with the hands across the knees or the hands across the tops of the legs. And if you're in a seated position, just gently start to touch feet. Just gently touching and feeling just the body. If anything like me, you've certainly craved a little bit of touch over the last little while, but just gently connect physically with your body. And I'm going to earth you now again. So just now, next exhale, earth the hands back on to the tops of the knees. And let's now draw our attention to the root. So to the base of the sternum, to the point of exit, to the point of the root, Muladhara. And in Muladhara, we have this energy source. It is a very physical place to host ourselves. It is this connection to the physicality of not only our physical body, but our physical surroundings. And when we feel strong and connected not only physically but also to the earth, we feel this sense of security and this sense of, I am enough. I have all that I need. Mother Earth provides everything in abundance for me to live an abundant and full life. So let's connect with this energy now of this sense of rooting down. And if your feet are placed on the floor, just allow your feet to really connect deep within the soil. So this affirmation also reminds us that nothing beautiful grows from light. Everything beautiful starts somewhere in darkness. So the soil is a rich reminder of this ability to plant the seeds, to firmly root down, and then allow the sprouts or the intentions or the dreams and aspirations to then see the light of day. So just allowing yourself to ground into earth and washing your beautiful body with the colour red. So the vibrancy of the earth, it could, whatever colour comes to mind, whatever variation on the spectrum of the colour red. It's perfectly beautiful just the way it is. So I like to think of the earth's nourishment as this really golden terracotta, but with a shade of scarlet. She really, really connects me to my physical body. I also like to think of that life force in terms of the colour of my menses. It allows me to connect with my physical body, but also to connect to some of the darkness that is not discussed. So I just think it's beautiful to connect with this essence. And as you're continuing to breathe, I want you now to just really earth the feet and raise those little roots down from the earth, from the feet, and raise those up into the toes. Ground your feet as if you're now sprouting, whatever it is that those intentions are, through the legs, up into the calves, up into the knees, up into the large muscles that support you to stride forward on the earth. And now let's just rest that beautiful visualization of whatever has come to mind, whether that's a beautiful flower that is sitting to root and to grow from deep within the earth. Maybe the flower is starting to just start to bud into the base of the spine. Perhaps it's a beautiful old willow tree. Whatever it is that you're wanting to create as this metaphor for grounding and connection to your physical body. Just allow yourself to settle here and still continue with the rotation of the breath, the rising and falling of the breath in through the nose and out through the nose. So what we want to make sure of is still connect to that visualization, anchor into the base, but make sure we have this equilibrium, this balance of the breath, inhale and exhale. So equal parts to the breath create spaciousness and equilibrium, balance, neutrality. And as you're sitting here in the root, I also just want you to pay attention to any tension that may be sitting through the tongue, through the teeth. Allow the jaw to release. Allow the third eye to also activate. So sit here and just ground. And now what we're doing is now just moving the energy from the base. So I'm just going to offer you now a beautiful mudra, a beautiful seal. So the mudra I'm going to offer you is a beautiful yoni mudra. So it's the mudra for our creative space. So just place the hands if it feels okay, and within the safety of your practice, just over your creative area, the woman's space. And just breathe in here, move the hands slowly, and just connect in with this area of the body. Next breath in through the nose. And let's exhale out the mouth. And feel this connection from the throat into the womb space. Next, inhale in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. So in through the nose. Slight pause at the top of the breath. Exhale out the mouth. Sitting back now to ground the hands, palms facing down. As you now just carry this essence of this creative force from Muladhara into Sadhisvana, into the creative space, up to now sitting within Manipurna, the heart, just below the heart, into the navel. Your internal sun gives you this sense of joy, this sense of vitality. Raising now this beautiful sun up to the throat. So, and just before you get to the throat, just pause for a second just into the heart space. Allow the heart space to blossom and to open, and maybe even now just draw from the base of your root, whatever that beautiful affirmation was, perhaps that visualization of the tree or the flower, just opening now at the heart space. So I sometimes like to visualize a beautiful lotus flower sitting in through the heart. I offer you a beautiful lotus mudra. I'm bowing my head in gratitude to you for showing up, being present in your body, being present with beautiful yogis within this community far and wide. We've called you by name, we've called you into this beautiful kula. Let's breathe here and sit together into the heart space. Now the next inhalation sequence, we're moving the breath now up from the heart, up into the throat. So I'm still placing my hands. You may just still like to join them into the prayer, into namaskar, or even making the beautiful lotus mudra. But turn the palms down as you rest now up to the throat. And just maybe even visualize something that you've been struggling with finding the words to say, and just visualize that from the heart. So you can just voice whatever the heart is wanting to say and hasn't had the courage perhaps. And now's your time to just connect with that. Connect with that challenge, connect with that difficulty, and just know that it's absolutely okay to find the words, to speak the words of truth, because if they are truth, they come from the heart with love, compassion and kindness. So raising from the throat, releasing any tension further through the mouth, through the nose, this beautiful communication system that's connected to the throat, up through to relax behind the eyes, up into Ajna, third eye. Open this beautiful window to intuition, to higher perspective, and now just raise the energy up over the back of the head and contain this energy within the auric body. So I don't want you shooting the energy out of the body, I want you to maintain it within Sahasrara, the crown. So thank you for those of you who joined a little later, if you're watching the replay, just guiding this beautiful meditation after welcoming the beautiful students into our community. So sit here and just maintain this sense of balance. And as you're just sitting, just hovering with the breath just above Sahasrara, the crown. Just taking the breath out to the ends of the hair follicles, but don't go too far outside. Just want to create this safety and this beautiful container within our body. Sitting here to breathe and to feel the connection that we now have with our physical body through the breath. And now the next inhale for the final couple of breaths. Draw the breath from the base and rise the breath full belly up to rest into the heart space, up to the throat. Slight pause at the top of your throat. And then the next exhale, what I'd like you to do is just place the breath, exhale the breath out through the two nostrils, out over the third eye, out through the crown, over the top of the crown of the head, and then shoot the breath back down the spine. Rotate then the breath, so it's this beautiful balloon breath that comes up from the base, front body, resting into the throat. Exhale, the breath comes through the nostrils, out through third eye, over the top of the head, down through the back of the neck, down through the back of the spine, connecting underneath the root, and then rising that energy up through the front body. And let's just pause now for a few more breaths into the heart. Let's just settle here into the heart space. The inhale and the exhale. Inhale, it's beautiful and soft. And the exhale. The inhale and exhale is inhale through the nose. Remembering the pause in your practice gives you the space. It's the non-responsiveness. The exhale is the release. And as you're taking the breath to the heart, just inhale and exhale to the heart space and exhale to the root. This connection to security, safety, your physical body, and to connection to the heart, connection to the self. Continuing with the rotation of your breath ever so softly. And we're just not attaching to the thoughts, just allowing the thoughts to present forward. And then just release with the exhalation. And just be the observer to the breath. Next, breath in through the nose, large breath, fill the lungs. Exhale out the mouth. So just slow the rise of my kundalini. It's taking me a while just to settle. Next breath. In through the nose. Slight pause at the top of the breath, out through the mouth. And beautiful yogis, as we start to just close the practice together, I'm just going to offer you slow transition just by rubbing the hands together into the heart, generating some beautiful heat, slowly opening the eyes. And when you're ready, let's just lovingly close the practice together. Just with placing the right hand onto the heart space, touching the skin if you can. Left hand cupping the right, so feeling this safety and this warmth and this love in through the heart. As you bow your head slowly in gratitude to yourself first and foremost, for that beautiful intention to show up and to honour yourself, to honour the beautiful yogis present in this beautiful student community. And as I close the practice, you're welcome to join me with the chant of Om. Otherwise, just open the heart to the vibration of the universal sound as we sit together. So the next inhalation, in through the nose. What a lovely way to spend a Wednesday afternoon. Thank you so much, yogis, for tuning in live, for those who have been following along, who've taken the meditation. I really, really honour you with so much love, grace and gratitude. And if you feel called to join me in any of our studio classes via the Zoom community, I'd lovingly invite you to jump on in. Certainly shoot me a message and ask me any questions that you may have, or type them into the comments. I'd love to welcome you and answer your questions. This is a really safe community. There is no judge. Quite clearly, it's open to all bodies. It's open to all women, anyone who identifies as someone who wants to connect with a spiritual practice that is deeper than just movement and asana. Of course, asana practice is absolutely transformative. It certainly has been for my practice and my body. And I'm certainly amazed at age nearly 50 that I can still hold Sarasana and still keep dynamic flow when it comes to vinyasa. But certainly the yoga practice in terms of my teachings is not all physical. So you get this beautiful blended approach to the beautiful practice. So what I have coming up is a beautiful full moon meditation, which is also guided. Full moon is coming up on the Friday the 5th of June. So that's a virtual community space held within the Zoom studio, 6 p.m. on the Friday the 5th, and then the terms roll around for the 5-week block on Saturday the 6th at 8 a.m. for 5 weeks, and then the Tuesday yin yoga class. Plus my one-to-one programs are also being delivered virtually, but also if you're in Townsville and interested, one-to-one in the studio. So the Awakening of the Divine Feminine is and has been really successful, absolutely fills my cup, as does, the one-to-one yoga students that I'm also, teaching one-to-one. Kerry has been in our community for a few months, and I'm guiding her from Hervey Bay, and she lives in Hervey Bay. I've got one-to-one students from all over, so it's just great that I can actually hold space for a number of you, and you don't need to physically be in my studio or you're in my presence. But I do thank you for watching, and thanks so much. If you have any questions, please do let me know. And namaste to you from across the skies, the oceans, and of course the forests. So blessings everyone, have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.